And with that, Cloud9 managed to pick up a win, and they do so in a fashion that honestly looked just calm, steady, prepared. Even when they were struggling a little bit and losing multiple rounds in a row, C9 kept their cool, and that's why they walk away with the win. Welcome back, everyone. Golden Boy here alongside with Rivington as well as Mimi. Let's go ahead and break this down, though, and talk about what we just saw, because I think for a lot of us, we were expecting this one to be close, and we had those moments there. But Riv, Cloud9 really ripped away with it at the end there.
They did. The first few rounds, I feel like Furia had the idea. They're actually playing a little bit slower. That allowed them to work the map, and then Cloud9 starts to figure that out. They get their retakes moving in round 3, round 4, round 5, continue them coming, and it seemed like Furia started to just overthink everything.
Yeah, anytime there was an issue for Cloud9, Furia started to pull some rounds. MC would take a timeout, and out of both of those, they came up with a new idea and won things out. In the second half, I think we got a great example of what this Viper provides. They don't play it the same way as Loud. They're so often defaulting that wall instead over towards A, timing when they're dropping it to take fights, or, as we saw to end out the game as well, kind of innovating, coming up with some cool Viper picks that really help them close out those posts. This comp was something that they newly innovated earlier in Super Week to bring out, and I think it just looks so incredibly good, proving that Cloud9 doesn't just have good players, but can also be a team that is leading in coming up with innovation.
And I like the mention of the timeouts because it seemed like both teams were winning right after the timeouts.
Yes.
We expect that a little bit from Furia, but C9's timeouts just hit a little bit harder.
Well, and I think also it boils down to the fact, and we do have some footage of this, was really just a few of the times, right, Riv, that it felt as if Furia were just overthinking what they wanted to do, and it resulted in them holding L's in these rounds early on.
Bala made a great point about this, is that Furia still had ground to cover and realize where Cloud9 was, but to push into spawn, to go for such a low percentage play of squeezing your opponent, just seemed to be like they thought way too much of the play they were making and could have just gone ahead and tried to plant and guard that A main, right? Little things like this started to plague them, and Cloud9 punished.
And this was just a genius play as well, Mimi, playing the Hunter's Fury right there just to prevent them from being able to pick up that spike.
I mean, they were trying to, but yeah, it definitely overcooked in that one. There was also some moments where it just looked like they were kind of overheating. In this one, they went for a re-clear of A main, but aren't aware of how close a Cloud9 player could be, and they lose 2 people. That was another round out of a timeout where, on a half buy, Cloud9 managed to win and get the momentum to inevitably close out that map. Furia, it's a lot of the same issues as the last time they played Ascent versus EG, where in the mid-round, people are walking up, taking solo fights. I think of Mazin on Catwalk, the round where he just peeked out dry and died. It looks so unstructured compared to the Furia that we knew from the first few weeks.
And it's little things. Just to quickly touch on that last play we saw, the dart was just out of range from scanning. But that's got to be a dart you fire all the time into A main, so it's not something you can miss. Those little things tore the round apart for Furia, and you cannot have missed utility like that.
And just really a credit to C9 for once a mistake was made, they dogpiled on it. Like what we saw with that Hunter's Fury there, right? Play it out. Oh, cool, I'm going to try and run away. Nope. And one of the reasons why they had, the ability to play off of these mistakes was because, surprise, surprise, it's Leaf.
Oh my gosh.
Yet again, Mimi, this guy continues to be unreal.
He's just so good. We've heard in multiple interviews from MCE, from the other players of this team, that like, Leaf wants to play other roles. This guy wants to prove his flexibility, but they're like, okay, we have to keep leaning into these comps where Leaf plays Jet, because the value he provides on this agent is unparalleled. He's continuing to prove that he's one of the absolute best individuals in America.
I love the fact that there's sometimes Leaf even surprises himself in plays. Like when we saw him Pearl, he went up in the air over the Viper wall, and he's just falling through the air, whipping out the knives, grabbing headshots, and you see him then in the react. He's like well, it's spectacular.
It kind of, when you look at the compare and contrast as well, unfortunately, you got to talk about Digizine here, because Digizine, a player who we've sung his praises so many times, Riv, but this time around, not only did Leaf have his number and the entire team's number, but Digizine just could not seem to get into that flow.
And I feel like part of it is because, while he is the forefront of a lot of these plays, he's almost sometimes thrown in his fodder. It's like, it's okay for you to go down, figure out stuff for us. We hope the play goes well. And I feel like, again, that low percentage play is something that Furia rolls quite a bit of the time, just trying to use that one person to go up the gut of their opponent's defense.
And not to be a stats Steven, but now this is the second game where we've seen Digizine on attack side of Ascent just have a really, really bad performance. It was, I think, 1-11 last time, something like that. And here he had like 3 kills at the half. He's been struggling to find value on the attack side of this map. And normally for most teams, in your default, you're looking to set your Jet player up in the mid-round to get you those advantages. We see Cloud9 do it so well. Sure, Leaf's a great player, but Digizin is too. And I think the difference is in the way the team sets them up and supports them.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And that actually leads us right into our aim lab shoot around as we can continue to put a spotlight on this Furia team as well as Digizin, as he will be the focus for us here for the aim lab shoot around. But yeah, to that point, right? Like, you really know that this team has the tools, they have the capability, but then when you see it in the server, it doesn't feel cohesive at times. So I'm wondering what's happening here. I'm wondering if it's more of a mental thing, if it's the grueling season, because I'm noticing that as we get to the midpoint here, Riv, there seems to be a shift in a lot of teams and how they're performing and also just how they're portraying themselves on that stage.
I feel like it's hard to feel out for the teams because I bet for them, their strats are running, their protocols are going. Think of when you're playing Valorant, your shots feel on, but nothing's hitting.
Yeah.
Right? What do you fix? What do you change? What do you look at? You're like, it feels right. But it's not. They're missing the little things, like we saw the util, the situations that make a team play look like a 1v1v1v1. It's got to be cleaned up in those smaller things for Furia because they can play as a team. They just have to link up together as a team.
Ever since this Loud loss, we have not seen Furia regaining the form that we had come to expect from them. When we were talking about them being a top 2 team in this league, they're still 3-1 in the standings. They're still in a good position, but they need to recover. And honestly, it needs to start in map 2.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to Fracture, as you guys saw there. C9 up 1 in this series, a battle for second place as we start the agent select. We'll get QCK there right on the Killjoy.
Oh, what is it?
Should be the Neon.
What is it? The Neon.
That's what
and
they
I think we get
yes.
the easy ones coming out of Cloud9.
I love the boomer still, my favorite agent.
Every day, please.
Oh, they're switching
Raze.
back. So they pivoted from the Raze comp to the Neon comp. That really didn't work super well for them, and now they're going to pivot back again to Raze. Digizin really struggled on the Raze when they played this map the time before last, but I'm really hoping that after seeing those 2 tough games on Fracture, they have something new here.
I think not having the Neon and now picking the Raze shores up a bit of that Digizin being disconnected from the team on the takes, and not because the team's disconnected, it's because he's clearing so much space and the team can't follow up. So I think this puts them together a little bit more. They get more pressure out of the showstopper when they just need space on rounds, and the fade comes in as well. So the fade stays.
Yeah.
Along with that composition.
It will probably be the same support structure around this Raze. Fade Raze Breach is a pretty common one here. But actually, wait, no. They already have the Viper locked in. I didn't see if they have a second controller yet, which would be,
I didn't
you
see
can't
that.
double initiator. Let's take a look again at this one. And yeah, they haven't locked one yet. So this is a change. This is similar to last year's FPX comp. What it gives you is a lot of value with lurks for this Viper. You can kind of default an orb towards A main and play a little slower around that. On defense, that Viper's really good as an anchor as well. And there's a lot of solid one-ways, even after the one-way nerf, that Omen can throw. On top of that, Paranoia to make up for no line control without a breach.
All right, well, we're ready for map number 2, so let's go ahead and send it over to your casters. They have the finest dad bods in all of Los Angeles. It's Doug and Bala.
I considered like posing, and I was like, wait a second. I don't want to show off the dad bod. That might go too crazy on the internet. Fracture on the cards, this guy's done. And Mimi is talking about a lot of the changes that's coming in for Furia, swapping Digizin over towards the Raze, and also adopting the old little FPX and now Navi comp, which is, I like it. I like this. The Omen on this map a lot allows for, like she said, the line control, and I think Cloud9 will have to be very prepared against something like this. And in the past, they've kind of steamrolled through some of the very standard stuff that teams have been playing for quite some time. So throwing a little curveball is nice. A little flavor here for Furia on Cloud9's map pick.
Oh gosh, how's that for flavor? Aggressive out from Cloud9. Maybe more than they bargained for.
These frenzies are hurting. That was a ghost from Zeppa too, so I'm surprised he went so high on that one. First round on the Raze, and Digizin getting aggressive too. That's 2. He is now continuing the hunt.
Spike planted.
MW was with him, so happy to continue forward.
Jake is weak. Jake is
remaining.
dead.
Recalling my bot.
And you can see already the stark difference in this approach. The Des was talking about MCE and how they were trying to get Leaf onto the Jet more consistently. This is a map where they can't get that. This is a map where Leaf has to swap over to the Sky. Even though he's quite good at Raze, I think both Zeppa and Zelsis have been considerably stronger in a lot of moments, or at least more consistent on that role.
We'll see if they go the aggressive route again. Fury with a couple of stingers, a bulldog, or specters, excuse me, a bulldog and a vandal too. They're buying into this.
I will stop that breach.
And I think one thing that's really difficult on the attack side here, playing an Omen, is the pivot is really difficult because you don't have those burst smokes that come down with an Astral or a Brimstone. So you actually have to rely a lot on the Viper. And is this going to be another one of those patent Cloud9 eco rounds? Both Rooney and Jake, who've been monsters with that Sheriff.
Highlight reel after highlight reel. The thing is, these thrifty rounds normally come in a little bit later in the game when the situation is more tense and the stakes are greater. We'll see if they can seal away an early one here. That's really far away.
Terminate.
That gun doesn't hurt that bad from that far.
Dead.
And it's QCK all by himself pushing up through drop. They don't have anything on the spawn. They don't have a smoke.
Jake's gonna show up real late and he's gonna come in through drop. Spike's still not planted. Finally now going down.
It's important there for Furia to show that they can go towards this A side while losing Khalil here. And not having smokes to cover both top rope and spawn.
Player standing.
Because in that instance, you can tell, I mean, how difficult it was to deal with some of these players. They're happy to do it on the anti-eco. But if you're not happy to do that at any point in this game, then all of a sudden, if you lose Khalil early, you know what's going to happen. They have to hit towards that Viper wall.
Yeah. You become so much more readable, so much more one-dimensional. You're right. I thought Jake was going to get a timing on that onto Mazine as well, given that the turret had been cleared, but just well done by Mazine, understanding where weak parts are.
But if you're not happy to do that at any point,
And that's going to get Fury up to 2.
split approach from Furia. All over the map too. I like this TP from Khalil avoiding the stun. And then he actually has to paranoia to re-clear tree, and that's as Mazine comes in too. But QCK's holding A main, and then Digizin and MW walking up drop. They have a lot of map control right now. Khalil already cleared onto underpass. See if they can find a pick. That's what they're looking for right now.
They're drawing out some utility B as well. The flash from Leaf, and I think it was all off of the orb that Mazine left on B, so trying to keep him tethered a little bit. But the hit is going to end up A, and they've seen enough now that Cloud9 want to rotate over. MW trying to work his way out from drop with a little bit of help from his friends.
We'll catch them.
C's could be good. Mazine getting the spike down. And they've left Khalil to deal with a cheeky little flank from Jake. He's going to get a win. Oh my gosh.
And that's a gun for him now too, so everybody has a gun.
That's certainly not how you want that to go.
Double's dead.
A 1-for-1 in Halls. Quickly turns back in favor of Cloud9. MW trying to hold the line from down low. The second, the third.
Remaining.
That Bulldog's just too good.
Satchel out.
Zeppin, this 1v2 though. And oh, he was weak. I thought the Satchel was going to kill him.
Out of charges.
A bonus conversion from Furia. Haven't seen one of those in this series so far. And that one's gonna send Cloud9 back to the drawing books. Because they just could not deal with that split pressure coming in. Zelsis was playing so passive on that site, just jiggling up towards drop. And he's forced off the angle. I love the approach too, for Khalil to lurk in that situation is so nice. With just the Sheriff. That Viper Orb is actually really, really far back. They don't gain that much. Other than being able to walk up behind it for QCK and get up on top of that box, but that's an easy flash kill. in most cases for Cloud9. Meanwhile, pressuring on the other side here towards B instead. Finding Zelsis' sight again.
Placing sentry. Toxins going up.
Khalil playing the northern side, waiting to see if there's going to be a late flank. Remember, he found value on Jake's rotation last time. Meanwhile, the rest of the hit starts on B, and Cloud9 are getting away with this one. They've got 3 with stingers already. Mazine trying to equalize.
One enemy remaining.
That was vintage Zeppa. That's what that was. But Khalil trying to trade it right back.
Players up in tower.
Yeah, he's a bit surrounded here. Doesn't have the spike either.
One enemy remaining.
He's getting a
30
lot of 1v1s
seconds
though.
left.
Giving him opportunities to win this one out.
Did he hear him? Yes, he did. You see, that's why he calls the reload out, and you can run his way over towards A.
He's trying to get there quick. No gun picked up for Jake. Just a share.
He's ahead, though. We've
10
seen this
seconds
before.
left.
9 seconds. It wasn't Jake, it was Rooney. But can he replicate the magic? Oh my gosh. Oh, yes, he can. You called it, Bala. Just ahead of it.
Thrifty.
I mean, how does he find that timing? I think Khalil's
Me
trying to
and
be a
Bala
little quiet
Scotch.
with the TPs there and obscure what he was doing, actually. But Jake makes the right call. Those two guys combined in these eco rounds are so dangerous. It's just crazy. And Zeppa as well, getting the pinch on. As Mazin stuck. Another thrifty for Cloud9. That's 2 in this series. And it didn't come on that exact first one, but right after the bonuses, negating a lot of what Fury was about to gain. A reminder about the win rate, 38% for Cloud9. The league average is 14% on ecos. 14%. It's almost triple.
That's actually insane.
You're talking about at least 1 a map at that point.
Very nice opener. Showstopper from DG. Trying to trap him in off the paranoia as well, but they've gotten all the fights that they want in halls. An orbital strike, just gonna separate him for now.
Good for DG to actually come back into sand there after clearing the top of halls. Because of that Brimble, he wanted to make sure that nobody
Spike
got in.
planted.
Charges.
They've got him trapped. Zelsis has the lockdown. And wise from Khalil to get out there.
Oh, the stun was huge. Allows Zelsa space, and they actually can.
He can't, I can't believe he got all the way through. Tried getting a second. Not able to.
Here.
They're both on site. They're surrounded.
Oh,
The
that
two youngsters
One enemy remaining.
quickly turns to 1. Rooney left in this 1v2. MW weak. 2 remaining members of Furia are playing in halls off the tap. They have to swing. Look for the challenge and the spam. Time running low. Numbers not on his side. He's getting out.
And you can tell in some moments, Cloud9 a little unfamiliar with this comp. It's not very common. In fact, it's rare to see scan initiators on this map. You don't usually have a fade, don't usually have a Sova, although EG is bringing that a little bit into the meta at this current point. The fade is a lot different. We saw it a lot at Champions, but since then, it's been really back to the breach, back to the standard good old comps that we saw in 2021. And for Furia, actually, within 3 days to shift from that comp with the Neon to this comp here is so impressive.
Blinded.
And again, throwing a curveball at MC's prep is always such a good thing to do because he's a very prep-heavy coach.
Just 1 Vandal on the side of Cloud9. Yeah, that was close.
What?
That just feels criminal, bro.
Hello?
That just shouldn't happen.
Just open the door in his face. And MW must have been looking away. Out of the space. His mind was definitely elsewhere.
Turrets destroyed.
Still room to pivot through this Viper Wall. QCK might make a play. And that's not the right one.
Nope. Maybe Khalil can find some success. They still just have one rifle in the hands of Rooney.
Yeah, he's in the perfect spot. I mean, he's going to have the exact same run around that. Oh, wait. Looks like Mazin was considering mauling his position, but
chooses not to. And now he's going to expand.
can he hold on for his teammate Khalil here to come from drop?
And I think additionally, too, Rooney wanting to hold that and not get ahead of his rotation.
Oh, wow.
And now they're all here.
Last player standing.
Khalil's down. And he invested the pit? I mean...
Oh, Lockdown clears him out.
Yeah. Well done by Cloud9.
It's funny there because Cloud9 in the advantage. With the kills that they've gotten so far, yes, the weaponry was a little worse. That's another thrifty. But for them, they're saying, okay, let's secure this round. Let's put the lockdown in
Everyone's tech still working? Double check
and
it,
just
please.
secure it completely. Meanwhile, Furia is trying to hold off on playing this, on playing their ults. So Mazin considers it and then places it late after the lockdown gets put, and it's the wrong one. Doesn't even properly cover it all.
Placing swamp grenade. Alarm bot out.
The defuse from the previous round gave Leaf the Seeker, so he'll have that online. A deep flash, too, to get some early info. And such a wide spread of killjoy utility towards A. That's a second flash out from Leaf. This one towards B. He got up really far,
You should
and he is
run.
by himself.
Oh, that nade went a little deeper. And he's still taking the space, lockdown down under. Have to get way far back. Furia's gonna be able to take this site. Already past that molly, it's honestly wasted, and he gets detained too. Flank also coming from Mazin.
Who's been there the whole time. Remember, it was off that deeper nade. And he's able to stay alive, so you've got to be aware of that. You've got to be worried about that. Meanwhile, the rest of the fight ensues on the site. The Seekers, the Rolling Thunder, they're trying to bully him out of the way. And you're right, they haven't gotten the plant up, but Mazin's flank could be everything. The timing is gorgeous,
Left.
Only
but
one
it's
kill.
just one kill.
Oh!
DG finding much more value.
That's through the smoke?
One enemy remaining.
That's another one through the smoke.
They've opened this up completely. I mean, Cloud9 didn't really have many tools to use there. That lockdown forced them all the way back. Surprised you didn't see them be a little bit more proactive about trying to deny that lockdown in underpass. Given that they didn't have the Brimble in the hands of Jake.
What?
Okay. I mean, Zelson and Zeppa trying to find some space to actually take a fight together, and they just get ripped to shreds.
Timeout called from Cloud9. First one of the half for them. As Furia put up another one. Cloud9 have won 2 rounds. They've both been thrifties. They haven't been able to convert on much else.
And that's for sure sign for concern. I'm surprised this didn't come a little earlier even from MCE. Not able to convert on some of these gun rounds is really, really hard to fathom given what we just saw on Ascent. And given the fact that they can convert on those thrifties. It's almost like they need somebody to be making a play. In comparison to some of the strats that were working really well on Ascent. And also, if this is a surprise to you here from Cloud9, I would have expected MCE to try to instill a new game plan right off rip. Obviously, coaches can speak once you see the comp up until we start that pistol round, but now that you've seen how they play, let's see if MCE talking to his team is able to actually shift the game plan a little bit, if they're going to be able to consider some of the ways that Furia is defaulting on them. They're just split defaulting, holding 3 of the 4 sides possible. Or Cloud9's not able to take any ground, but look at this in Arcade. They've got 3 grouped up. And a high flash potential stim too. Oh.
That was very similar to how they opened the pistol. Remember the opening round of the map? It was a double satchel off of Zeppo as well. Aggression on the northern side of B.
Love this reaction from QCK though. But he backs off on Masi. I mean, it's the same thing from both sides there.
Yeah.
One pick and then the other player falls away. while the rest of his team continues forward, but Cloud9 have worked them, and they've also spotted the fact that Tower's lost.
DG still getting Zeppa there. And they decide to reset, trade a couple of weapons around. Jake with only 20 HP, stuck with the Sheriff.
Not planning yet. They want to wait for the smokes.
Last player standing.
Nice timing it from Zelsis.
And that was a great flash from Rooney, too, to set him up.
Khalil does have the spike. And he has a smoke. So he'll get that far. Is there any utility that they can use? No, just the nano from Zelsis. But that's all. Khalil repositioning, and through all of that, Zelsis, who was last seen on the southern side, is now taking a different approach out from Arcade, and this is taking too long!
It's just in time. There's also a second later, and you actually might have seen Khalil consider the fact that he could have walked around the tower. That actually, Cloud9 have been relying a little bit on light armor. Still able to buy up in this round. Given the fact that they lost almost everybody, that's slightly surprising to me. But with the ecos that they've been amassing, you get this extra little round here and there.
Yeah.
And the more they can rip into Furia's lead right now. They're going, again, aggressive here a little bit with Zeppa's, or Leaf's flash.
Blinded.
But it gets denied by the Molly, and the protocol for Khalil and Mazin there in tree is really nice.
This is really cheeky. Off of the orb tapped, a fault line, and then a swing out. But Zeppa's not able to handle the heat.
And the stun actually missed there, even though it was really nicely considered from Rooney. But there's the pressure that you actually get. There's the gap in the default from Furia. The only spot that they don't take control of is Arcade. We've seen this over and over. MW paired with Digizin at drop. You have one player lurking inside of halls. That's QCK, and then the other two over towards street. Leaf reacting back into it. And going into underpass to find that kill is massive. Again, Khalil down, that's no omen. A little bit more predictable you get. And it will be towards that Viper wall right now.
Which, even with that into consideration, they're still split 2-2. Zelsa is still leaning towards A.
Ooh.
That's enough info. That's enough info. Good on Jake to take one, I suppose, but Fury have cracked the side open.
Placing swarm grenade.
Molly in, Rooney's gonna stun, try to catch QCK, but that Molly missed. Oh! I thought he was still in it.
It was close.
Aftershock now, here comes Zelsa's ability to get that kill yet. 2v2.
But once again, Fury is spread. And Cloud9 are gonna have to go into that turret. Rooney a little bit ahead of it for now. Haunt trade, and the timing from Azine is pretty. Well done.
Nobody ready for that one. But you're right, Mazin peaks literally at the instant that you would have taken your crosshair off anyways. I'm very impressed with Furia's ability to have adapted from their prior comp to this in 3 weeks. It looks very good. Looks like every player did their study, and they have honestly copied quite a few of the pioneers of this comp strats in Na'Vi. But what you said earlier about the 2 thrifty rounds being the only ones that Cloud9 have won, that is still in the air. Cloud9 only that 1 gun round just a round prior. And we're back down to a light buy here.
Which means there's a chance. DG on the satchel out. Haunt and Paranoia to clear the way.
Found them. Alarm bot down.
And they have full control. Feeling some of the pressure. I think GCK may be in some trouble here.
Yeah, but even losing this, they can still recontrol halls. So while it's a gain of a player, it might not be a gain of actual space that's useful. But look, Zeppa has his ult. They might use it to clear up.
Oh, wow. Timing's just not great. There's that ult that you mentioned. DG's in, cleared out.
They've actually taken halls now. Now that's good space.
They have halls now. They have sand. and they have spawned, so they're going to be able to approach us from a couple of different routes. No ults in play here. Rooney's fallen. No utility from him either.
Last player standing.
And it's all on to Leaf. This is a 1v2, though. This is winnable. Oh my gosh. It's winnable.
Enemy remaining.
It's winnable. He's gotten it down to 1. Picks up a weapon. Taps on the spike. To bait. To draw out the swing from Azine, and he does!
He doesn't have time.
Does he? Does he?
Close.
Oh my gosh!
Unbelievable.
0.29.
We've just barely. Just barely. And again, these rounds that they're winning, that one,
It's another thrifty.
it's almost another thrifty. They had one rifle and then a few stingers and such like that, but my goodness. Hey, if it's what keeps this game close, it doesn't have to be pretty.
Zeppa aggressive. Space denied. Mazine playing in the smoke. And there's a lot of presence just on the other side. There's no easy way for Rooney to help with utility from where he is.
He's actually done a good job cutting off the Cloud9 players with that smoke, but Zeppa is way too quick with it. And since that timeout, you've seen every single round there's some sort of aggression to break up Furia's default, and Furia definitely is struggling with that.
Yeah.
Because it's multiple rounds where they're losing a member early.
No match.
Looking at the economy though here, Furia only 2 rifles and both of them gone already.
Yeah, both done. Both down. At Frenzy might be all right, though. No weapon picked up.
One enemy remaining.
Even Roomba's getting in on the action. TG manages to pick one up, though. That's clean. That's pretty. That high-low is going to be tough, though.
30
The nade to
seconds
break it
left.
up. And now 3 members here. Everyone watching. And they might just be watching a DG's in show at this point. If he can continue to pull this off, just 1 point away from the showstopper. He might have a shot at this. Oh, that spam could be good. Whew. We've had so many near outrageous moments in this series.
Last round before the switch.
Yeah, I remember that Leaf 1v3 backside on Ascent. This one here.
Quick break.
And we've actually gotten down to 1 here for Cloud9.
Deep breaths, deep breaths, deep breaths, deep breaths. Jake, try to stay alive here for a Killjoy ult.
That
okay?
is a little strat reveal. Like it, I like it.
Wise words of wisdom, though. Deep breaths. Inhale, exhale. Last round of the half. Fury hanging on to a 1-round lead with lots of tools to play with.
Yeah, this might be the biggest ult round we've had. Feels like they've been just traded in the clutches and not able to be combined for significant effect. Cloud9 has all the best, but so does Furia.
7 of 10, and the first already used.
Whoa.
The second now. He's got to get back out. Third.
He got a kill with it. But they used the purple before the KJ ult, so attacker ult's gonna be nasty good.
Oh, so sharp!
Spike down.
There's
B.
no way! And Jake has a pocket here too.
He had one. Gets detained. Spike out of reach. It's all into DG to get it, or he throws the brakes, wait, while they try to rotate through spawn, but Zelsis, excuse me, is a little bit ahead of it. The alarm bot's gonna trigger, and it draws rotations. He's gonna get the spike.
Yeah, but they're actually finding space for Digizin to go on this flank too, so it's a really nice idea, but the plant's gonna come before it's even there. Digizin's not moving, and QCK's already in the pressure.
It looks like he's just waiting for a flank. He's just waiting for the Lurko, who's not gonna show up.
Where's the comms?
Where's the help? Khalil trying to hold the line by himself with 20 HP, unable to do so.
It doesn't have nade either, it's not planted for him.
He arrives, but is it too late? Rooney holding it, sticking it as Jake. It's just the bait. Well played by Cloud9. And perhaps a fumble, a blunder from Furia.
Switching sides.
That time is ridiculous for them to be able to bring this back to a tie game. Look at that breach ult for Jake to swing right as they're coming up, right as Furia think, oh, they used their Brimble, we can lock down, we're gonna get the site. Those are the comms going. And that type of mistake ends up in a tie game here at the half.
Whew, let's send it over to Dash, who's standing by with a very special guest. This time it's MCE's dad, Steven.
Thank you so much, Doug. That's right. As we hit halftime here, standing by with Steve, father of MCE of Cloud9, repping the team as well. Right off the top, I want to ask you, just in an interview recently, your son mentioned that the team lovingly refers to him as great-grandfather. Does that make you the great-great-granddad of the team?
Well, the players were asking me, you know, we're not sure because Cupert's papa and then Matt's grandpa.
Yeah.
And so what does that make you? I guess we have to call you grandpapa.
I guess so. Let's talk about your son's pathway to becoming a coach. Because off camera, we were talking about how you've been supportive of his journey, and quite a journey it's been already. 12 years ago, talking about his Counter-Strike days. What's it been like to watch kind of his evolution in the esports scene?
You know, I always say that Matthew was into social media before we even had flip phones, okay? We'd go to towns and play basketball games, and he would be with the opposing crowd socializing with everything. So he's always been a social person, and he always wanted to coach. He told me growing up, I'm gonna be a history coach, or a history teacher and a high school coach was what he wanted to do. And then when he started student teaching, he said, I can't put up with the politics. I'm going to have to go do something else.
So now he's just doing a different type of politics. He's playing mediator between the whole team. What do you think it is about your son then that makes him such a formidable coach, especially in a scene where he himself is young and he's dealing with so many young players?
You know, one of the things is Matthew's ability from childhood was his ability to look out over a playing field or the scene. And we'd go to college football games and he'd go, Dad, we'd be in the stands. He'd go, this play is open. If this guy goes here and this guy goes here, it's going to be there. And he has almost a photographic memory, always has had. So he remembers and grasps lots of things going in.
He's got a lock solid memory and he's got great foresight. Let's see if you've got the foresight to tell me how this series is going to end. They took map 1. Are they going to take it all in 2-0 fashion?
Yes.
They got to believe. We got to believe. Steven, thank you so much for the interview. We're going right back to Doug and Ball to get back into the second half.
Thank you.
I love the confidence, man. He was decisive on it. As soon as Dash said, are they going to go 2-0? Yes. Done. That's it. It's
Pause
over.
for dramatic effect. But
6-6 half here. Now Cloud9 on the attacking side, and we'll see how MCE is able to kind of pick apart the defenses, given that he's going to get a couple of rounds to see the setup, see the defaults, see the protocols from Furia.
I would love to see him challenge Khalil in halls right away against the Paranoia.
Deep Flash is intended to do just that.
If you can start to break down confidence in the one-way hold and Paranoia down deep in halls, all of a sudden, the entire game plan from Fury will fall apart. It's a risky approach, but that stun's good, and they find the timing between the one-way to dog him off there.
That's a lot of pressure.
This is a really interesting Viper wall, though, actually put down from Mazin. It is covering sand and halls, but the main entrance, I don't think that's something that you expected if you're Cloud9. It almost looks like Furia wanted to allow halls control in this specific scenario.
DG just crept forward. He's still dancing around.
Find you.
Dish, Azelsis is the one trying to push his way forward. The Haunt's cleared instantly, and they've gotten past the first wall. Well, I say they, it's really just Leaf right now. Continuing to dance around it. Zep for the first to fall. MW on the swing onto Leaf, and Leaf's able to clean him up.
30
a 1-for-1,
seconds
and now the drop is going to become a problem, but you've got Mazin who's going to be coming in from spawn, and it's free. Crossfire's brutal, but Rooney on the trade. 2 on the round for him. 21 HP for Khalil now.
They know where the flash came from, so they know he's localized to halls.
But once again, Split, they're just going to try to overwhelm and outnumber him, and they do.
Get away in time to get across here against QCK.
Which is very well done. Rooney, remember, he's weak. But Jake should be able to swing if the timing is right. Oh, he's out of ammo. Well done by Jake.
And for the first time in this map, Cloud9 take the lead, but ever since that timeout from MCE. Earlier on, that's 4 in a row now from them. And since they started winning their first gun round, things have gone in the complete opposite direction. Furia really hasn't been able to capitalize on the situations that they put themselves in. That was a 3v5. Those early picks from DJZin. And Cloud9 have broken down that idea in halls right off the bat.
It was around that different Viper wall too that you were referring to, this time set up at B.
And I'm already seeing Furia's Viper walls. I mean, this is an eco and the pistol. You can't really consider everything to be standard what's going to go forward, but I'm wondering if they're not as prepared on this defensive side than their attack side looked like, because again, 3 days is very short to prepare an entirely different comp.
And you know, people at home may be saying, oh, it's just raised for Neon. They're both duelists, whatever, it's the same. Their jobs are entirely different. Their roles are so different.
Spike planted. Right there.
I mean, it's the Omen Viper too. That's
Right there.
Yeah.
significant in this instance.
Oh, you're right, absolutely.
Oh, now I get on the site. I think Furia already thinking about looking for just exits, and I even looking at MW's position. He's so far back, just trying to find a cheeky kill on somebody flanking behind a box. And Leaf's gonna go for something.
Oh, of course he is.
Surprised it's not Rooney here playing aggressive. He's one off his ult, given the pistol round prowess and the orb farming that he's done so far. There it is.
Getting dropped. The satchel to break the crosshair. Oh, but Zeppa still falls. 3 stay alive though.
For Cloud9 to find 4 kills in a situation that Furia was fully playing without wanting to fight them at all is ridiculous.
Yeah. Going into Furia's plan.
And coming into the bonus now for Cloud9, this is a massively strong bonus. Yes, they lost 2 players, but Cloud9 is a team who's known to buy into these. And I think in this instance, it's a great round to go for it. You have 2 rifles carried into it, and you have the breach ult. Again, farmed up some orbs, and on top of that, had good pistol. And they funneled the kills there towards Rooney. They're already in position again to break down this A-Hall's hold from the Omen.
Oh, the thing is, it's just Leaf.
No, but the breach ult coming in from the backside as well. That's going to give them sight and space to pinch them hard. Here comes a double satchel to Zeppa.
There's the pinch that you mentioned. Khalil tried getting away and getting through it.
How does he track him in the TP there? That is ridiculous. But good pinch from DJZin.
Zeppa's nade buying some more time and buying some more space.
Dangerous room from Zeppa. Good smoke though from Jake.
Better shots from QCK. Are they going to do this again? Perhaps play for exits.
Rooney has 2 flashes here.
It looks like they may be the case. What are they waiting for? DG the first to go. DG the first to fall.
MW needs to find this. If they don't take Hall's control, this round is busted.
There's way too much control here for Cloud9. There's no way in. You've got the flashes, the fault lines, and nades. You have everything. Yeah, I think they're calling it.
You have to at this point. Like I said, without Hall's control, there's nothing to be able to break down the post plant positions of Cloud9, and without any smoker either. And they just got barreled over there. Khalil died early to that forced TP because of the breach ult. He was trying to get across those pulses, but Zeppa, he's showstoppered and double satchels through. Does not care if he gets stunned. Is not worried about it at all, and that's a bonus conversion from Cloud9.
And a timeout from Furia. 6 rounds straight for Cloud9. Yes, going into the previous half, but just, again, indicating the momentum which Cloud9 have been able to amass.
And this is a really difficult conversation to have right now for Furia. How do you even forget about the last half? This map, if it wasn't for those eco rounds, would have been so far in Furia's control.
Oh, we're looking at, what, 10-2, 9-3? That
Yes.
degree of control, yeah.
Losing 2 big ones is just ridiculous, and then a few other light buy situations as well. And Cloud9's in the series lead right now. They won that first map. They won on Ascent. Mazin trying to figure out how to control his team, get into positions right now. I really did like their approach on that attack side, but now we're going to need to see a little bit more standard of a defensive side approach with the Viper, with the Omen. And Cloud9 has not shied away from that A-Halls. Again, the desk, Mimi was talking about how big of a factor the A-Halls control is on defense. And right now in this eco by them, Khalil's not even on that side. He's going to throw it from cross map. But you can actually tell where he's at, given that he doesn't throw the one-way.
This looks like a slightly different hit. Similar flavor, though. They have 3 who are going to be coming out of dish. They should be able to hold control, but DG tries to go up top with the ult, not able to land anything. Just a bit of splash damage now. As kills go 1 for 1. DG still alive, 22 HP, playing down.
No gun recovered in that nade.
That
might be a great trap. Oh, DGZin finds the gap, though.
Well done, too, in the face of the aftershock and the nade.
It's giving up space, though.
There's a shot for a pinch here from Furia. But Rooney's wise to it. Feeling some of the pressure that could be coming in from behind. Zeppa off the fault line, satcheling forward. DG dead. 3v3 now, and again, still just pistols for Furia. They haven't been able to upgrade anything.
No smokes here to actually hold off the space, and gonna give it to Zeppa. He's gonna get his ult up. Huge shift.
Spike planted. My ult's ready.
Gave up a gun.
Ah, that's one. Molly pushing Rooney off. Zeppa just buying time with that ult.
Zelsa's re-cleared Hall, so they know all 3 players coming from this side.
A little bit of zoning, a little bit of time. And they're starting to funnel out. They're starting to flood 1 for 1. Rooney trying to get the second, just one that remains now, but Rooney and Zelsis are both weak. Time is short. Khalil has to go fast. Yeah, he can't think this one through too much. He's gotten one. Guessing for the other. Zelsis on the swing and Khalil on the shot, but time. The ultimate equalizer.
Gets away with the gun. And no matter how hard Furia try, they just cannot replicate the success on the ecos that Cloud9 have done to them. That's a big attempt. But you wonder about the cascading effects if that actually went through. That was combined 14 HP for the players, so those 2 share of shots are true, but you think back to Zelsis and that showstopper, swapping the spike over to him, getting that ult up online, and buying all of that time is ridiculous. Up on QCK. 4 players, first approach towards P.
Removed.
I believe it was just Zeppa that he spotted, but you'd assume he wouldn't be alone. They get out from main.
Placing swarm grenade.
Rooney's gifted one through the
Swarm
smoke.
grenade out. Placing alarm bot.
QCK's top of that nanostorm was way, way late because he was trying to escape down Canteen.
Yeah.
He's occupied with other things.
Trying to preserve the op that he still has.
Problem with other rules other than Jet playing that op.
Initiated.
We got Brimo here. Not a big deal.
Engineer kill.
I just thought he was so close. Maybe with some pressure they'd be able to mess that up, but no. 3v3 here. Woo, Jake! Still a 1 for 1
Look
though.
at the flank. Underpass from Leaf. It's planted for him.
Last player
Once again,
standing.
timing of the essence.
1 enemy remaining.
Oh, it's not actually.
Spam. Off the swing! And the Red Bull clutch for Leaf! That feels like a dagger.
That might just be it.
Last player standing.
Leaf with 2 big clutches in this game.
Remaining.
And Fury has not won a round so far this half.
What's that? 8 in a row now. 8 in a row. Going back to the last half.
Things have spiraled fast out of control.
Turn out.
Might be the dad buff
Turn
at the
down.
halftime interview.
I've got your
That's because the
trail.
game plan is insane.
It's going to start becoming a protocol. This rate.
Might be an NA, but that might be the real hometown buff.
Mazine is already the first to fall. Leaf decayed, the satchel, the swing, the kill. And it was by committee, but Fury's getting another.
Launching slow.
Jake expecting some of that pressure. They know there's someone up in tower. But you can't ignore him there. You can't leave him there. You have to bully him. You have to try to push him out to establish control. And they're not challenging. They're getting kills on the opposite side of the site. Now timing gorgeous from QCK. Well played. Celsius with another chance to be a hero. And it's not happening this time.
Finally, they break the streak. Finally, they're able to respond in kind. With an eco round win, but wondering, they have to pull off something ridiculous. They've already used their timeout on this half, too. They have to pull off against this Cloud9 squad that has magic within them. Something impressive in this battle for second place right now in the league. And MCE is going to call the timeout. Furia still has one remaining too, so this is Cloud9's last. They want to close this out. They just need 2 more rounds. And they somehow, some way, after a complete upheaval of the roster, heading into this split. 2 rounds and they could end up as second seed so far through Super Week.
Dog, there were people who had them at like 9th.
Yeah.
Or even lower,
Yeah.
some instances, right?
And I think that was totally fair. But at this point, like all the history and past that we've talked about doesn't matter because this team is ridiculous. This team is so strong. We've seen it week after week after week. And the crowd knows there's no doubters anymore for Cloud9. MCE and the core that remains have done such a good job. And Rooney coming in, fitting into the structure, calling a fantastic game, and playing fantastic too.
I mean, it's been everyone. You mentioned MC, and for good reason. Cupert's another one who has to be called out for the value that he brings to this team. Just incredible. Jake's confidence hasn't gone away.
Early ult out of Mazine. And it's on Tree, not the one that's typically used. So again, trying to find some way to be off meta in this, and they go back to that really, really strange Viper roll on A halls, especially given the fact that they're actually pushing halls here.
Yeah, you'd expect for them to want to play around.
It's just extra coverage because he's already going to be using the pit. Big lockdown, and we don't have a Brimstone on this side, so nothing to deal with this. Talk about a problem for the next 5 rounds that Furia are going to need.
Rooney pressured. DG backing up. That pit should be going down here very soon. Yeah, gone. So that early setup and a free kill out from Rooney. Dude, he's handling everything.
And look at Zeppa's position. He just got out drop and just put himself in spawn, called for the rotate.
And Jake's ahead of it all with the spike. You can see the pings on the minimap.
I would be super impressed if you actually saw Rooney stay there and go for a breach ult to help out with Zeppa's push, but he's not going to do that. He still could do that from drop, though. And Furia have no clue. They have no idea.
I mean, he has fault line too. So even if he doesn't fully commit the Rolling Thunder, he has help that he can provide from his position.
Gonna do it off of Leaf's jump spot. And at this point, they don't know what's going on. Only one player coming through spawn, so it makes no sense for...
Timing just a little unfortunate there for Rooney as he tried to provide help. Oh dear! Made a mess out of that one. And those are 2 very unfortunate circumstances for Cloud9, and that put Fury in a position to be able to punch back.
That P shooter's not gonna do nothing. Wow! I thought that Fury was lost in that instance.
Yeah.
I thought that there was no way, but they spread all around, scattered like insects. And Cloud9 lose the track of the hive mind in a sense. I thought for sure that they were going to rotate back through spawn, and that breach ult was going to find massive value. But instead, Cloud9's like, oh wait, we're in terrible positions actually to receive the drop hit and the halls hit. Good start from Furia after a really rough early round from them.
Now 2 rounds for the defensive squad. But they still have the Rolling Thunder, and they still have Jake Salt too, the Orbital Strike. Oh, that's another one going in favor of Furia. Numbers once again on their way.
And I like this approach too from them. Instead of going for the one-way, giving them the space and going for that flash. That's the type of thing that you need to be using. But ooh, Rooney gets a Khalil-esque shot.
Oh my gosh!
Off the rope. Golden Boy's gonna be happy about that one.
Oh no, but Cloud9. Oh my god, Justice again!
Close find him.
What a monster! Once again, a situation. Once again, a situation where Fury is on the back foot in this 1v3. And a 1v2 is all it becomes. Cloud9 series point.
How have we gotten here? May I remind you, Furia was so in the lead on that first half. I don't know how Zelsis does this. 2 times, no gun out. 2 times.
Yeah, knife spinning, coming across the rope.
My goodness. And that speaks to Cloud9's playstyle too. I mean, so often you're seeing them just hit shots like that. Moving, running, doesn't matter. They abuse the game deficit and game mechanics.
Where are I? Placing
And I think it's because of those outrageous plays from Zelsis. Cloud9 were able to come into the series point round with those 2 key ultimates still in hand. They also have Zeppo 1 point away from the ult. Doesn't look like it's going to be a pinch from drop like we've seen before. But he has his ult now. There it is, Rolling Thunder, Nightfall. And the Nightfall was instantly towards drop. It doesn't tag anyone.
Oh, but Digizin's dead.
2 heat-seeking silo shot. 3v4 still in favor of Cloud9 though. The spike's going to get planted.
Do they consider the double flank? Alarmbot's still up.
Killed my bot.
Now they know. It's going to be a fight for halls. That paranoia is good. That paranoia is very good. The fall line now finding value. Rooney, Furia overwhelm the defenses and they leave Leaf alone.
It's Leaf again.
Will he pull it off this time? No, he will not. MW with 3, Furia with 9.
I can't believe how Furia is keeping this game alive right now.
Me neither.
In the way that they're playing, it's so offbeat. Just constantly going for these flanks, constantly leaving only one coming out of spawn. And Cloud9 have also used their last time out. I think there might be a simple approach to this, which is once they get that site, go ahead and plant for spawn, push into spawn, and all of a sudden that position that Zeppa had a few rounds ago, you can actually play from. It's just a matter of when is Furia actually going to go back to standard. I don't know if they will. And also, Jake just used his ult, so big one for the retake here for QCK, especially if they go towards that B side. It's very strong.
Zelsis has gone under. Nothing but a frenzy for him. Now rotating back. They do have 2 rifles in the hand of Leaf and Zeppa, and Leaf already finds value with his. Seekers now. MW overwhelmed as well.
Is this really going to happen on another light buy here from Cloud9? Is this really going to be another Thrifty to close out the game?
It would be poetic, would it not?
Placing alarm bot.
Zelsis now is lockdown,
Initiated.
and it's traded right back, yeah. Venn diagramming their way through the site.
Placing swarm grenade.
First nano dropped. DG's on the tap, and there's no real challenge, but it forces a swing. He's overwhelmed. He's outnumbered. He's outgunned. He's detained. What a way to end. Robbed of the knife, but the series still in favor of Cloud9.
And with that, they lock up second place here. So far after Super Week, what a win from Cloud9.
And what a wild finish too, bro. To end like that. Another Thrifty, a detained DG.
They continue. What's not a miracle run, but 5 players putting in hard work on the server since the beginning, knowing they had a long shot at making playoffs, at making Tokyo at the beginning of the season, and then suddenly saying, yo, we got this. And this situation shouldn't have happened on this map. Furia was in control. Furia had the keys. Letting it slip on the anti-ecos is a brutal one that's going to haunt them for the rest of the season, one that might put the season overall at peril. They don't have an easy path in the next few weeks. Not at all. No easy wins for the next 4 matches.
And they've done well to be sitting towards the top. Gosh, that really was gross from Zeppo, wasn't it? They've done well to get towards the top, but you're right. For it to go this way, 2 thrifties. Oh, this again.
Yeah. Jake is a stat player.
Yeah, he is.
You saw him look over to his teammates. I took it from you. But just to go back to that point for Furia, 50% of the ecos lost in that one.
That hurts. That is an alarming trend.
And Cloud9 continue to actually just be so good in those ones. Such a scary prospect going forward.
I guess the one benefit is if you're Furia, you know what you have to shore up, right? That's something you can very easily point to that you have to address. But for Cloud9, if they can continue to exploit, continue to put on this miracle run in the face of all the doubters who by now there can't be many. They've silenced plenty of them.
Up MC on the stage too. MC was, I mean, you saw it on the timeout on that first half. Everything shifted on that defense. It was just constant pushing on one of the sides. That Fury was doing a great job defaulting against. But he just got the read, and all of a sudden, everything fell apart. Huge credit to that team. They just played against a comp that they were not going to expect.
Yeah.
That was a new one from Furia, and they handled it so well.
And so at this point, they've taken care of everyone that they've played except Loud. They've done it in the face of new comps with little prep, and they've weathered everything. I mean, what questions are left for Cloud9 to answer? The nice thing is we don't have to figure that out. Let's throw it down to the desk and let them figure that one out.
That just seems like an impossible job, honestly, because C9, man, have been able to put together an incredible run here at the Americas split. It's been truly fascinating to watch, Riv, and as we just jump right into the action and talk about what we just saw there, I think that there was a little bit of concern going into Game 2. We were worried that maybe Furia had figured out this squad, but instead it was C9 who found the answers at the end.
And they still do it, bringing out their ecos, being able to play this game even from behind, making Furia kind of fear these rounds. Cloud9 did the same thing against Loud when they started off on split to take that map, is where they play so aggressively in the lead, they force unideal ultimates and protocols out of their opponents, and Furia found themselves looking at angles they could not cover, and Cloud9 kept coming up with ecos and their patented retakes.
The eco rounds were ridiculous. That was the only thing that got them into the first half. Furia came in with a good game plan, clearly subverted the preparation that Cloud9 made with this double controller FPX style comp, but the ecos fell apart consistently.
Yeah.
C9 is so good at coming up with game plans for these ones. I think of in the second half where they're going for those like south side crunches in the late rounds on one of those lesser buy rounds. Also, even if that initial plan fails, just the clutch factor from these players is absurd. Leaf and Zeppa were closing out so many of those rounds. That's what got them into it, but the second half was dominant from Cloud9 all the way through.
Seeing attack come from them, it's the best thing right now, because the early part of this team change was about the retake, so now seeing them have attack just out of nowhere, they are such a formidable team right now.
They did such a good job in this second half, I think, of playing around their ultimates on Fracture. It's a really important part of your game plan. The first 2 rounds, Rooney had a pop-off, and they're putting an emphasis on him getting kills, him getting those orbs. So in the bonus round, they have this Rolling Thunder to work with on the execute. The really good teams, like Fnatic, who play this map, put a huge emphasis on maxing out those ultimate orbs, of having those ults online, and Cloud9 had a good game plan that they followed through. Sure, Furia got a few rounds towards the end of that half to make things closer, but at one point it was 8 rounds in a row for Cloud9.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at it right now. The track is nuts. They got 3 at the end, and then going right into, the half, they continued that run. They continued to look fantastic. I think it just goes to show that, unfortunately, you can't, well, not unfortunately, very fortunate for Cloud9, you can't judge a book by its cover, right? No. You truly cannot. It doesn't matter where these players come from. If they're here, they're ready to play, they're ready to perform, then we have to treat them as such. And that is exactly what happened with Jake, because this young man has just been unbelievable to watch. And even though there have been ups and downs for him, it's the fact that no matter what happens, he's always there to, at the very least, be a strong voice for the team. At the very least, be there to help out with utility.
And steal your knife kill at the end of the game.
That too.
I wonder if his position is a little bit in trouble after that one. Not a lot of team synergy from Cloud9 to end that one out. But no, honestly, you saw how much fun they were having.
Yeah.
Honestly, he looks like a new player now. He came in, it seemed like he was a little patient to try and do anything.
Yeah.
And now it seems like he's been on Cloud9 the entire season.
Yeah, the first few weeks and last week was him really getting comfortable. You saw some of those big clutches that people remember, but this week was him just in the flow, looking fantastic as an individual. And despite those changes, despite the 2 young players, Cloud9 now sitting at the 2nd best team in the league in the standings. No one would have seen this one coming, but it's a testament to how good this squad is, how much prep work they are putting in to make this happen. It's really just a wonderful story for them.
Yeah, it has been.
Achieved.
It has been an excellent story here for Cloud9. But let's send it down over to the stage, because we have Dash standing by with Jake for the Verizon post-match interview.
Thank you so much, GB. Jake, happy to grab you here after a blistering win over Furia. We just crossed the midway point of the split. You 2-0'd Furia to 2-0 the week, 4-1, 2nd place overall in the standings. But you only joined this squad a couple months ago. So talk to me about your experience, your perspective on the big stage and sitting in 2nd place.
I can't lie, it feels good. It wasn't expected to make it this far, to get 2nd place this early in the split. We had a hard start. We go loud, energy. Furia is also a really good team, so it was hard to know who we were going to be at the beginning, but every single week in practice, we're putting in this work, we're getting better. Although I was a rookie, I feel like I'm matching some of the other controllers in the scene, able to match their skill level, match their impact in the server. And it feels really, really good to upset some of these teams, or upset, because we've been doing it in scrims this whole time. The public just didn't know.
Well, talk to me a little bit more about that process of assimilating into the squad, right? Obviously, a lot of conversation around the moves that Cloud9 made in the offseason. Big shoes to fill in general on the team, but you guys have seemed to slot in quite well. What do you attribute that to in terms of the systems that are taking place in Cloud9?
I feel like I match with Jordan or Zelsis really well. We just joke around. We mesh really well together. The whole team in general just jokes around in practice. But when it comes time to get serious and put that grind in and make sure we're perfecting the small things that we struggled on against Loud, we're able to do that, and we're able to do it quickly without argument. If there is an argument, it's constructive. Everyone's critical of each other, and everyone learns every time. Even the veterans in the squad, like Zeppeli for Zelsis.
That's what I like to hear. That camaraderie that you're talking about, that's something that MCE cited specifically in an interview quite recently. I had an opportunity to talk to his dad, Steve, earlier during the halftime. He called the 2-0 for you guys. But I want to get your perspective on MCE as a coach. What is it about him that makes him a phenomenal coach? What have you learned from him in just this short period of time?
I'd say him as a coach, one of his main strengths is his ability to know what the other team's doing, but he doesn't necessarily create an emphasis on that, just the small things that they do. Oh, Khalil likes to TP over here and be main. And it's just those small things that we're able to figure out and isolate and shut them down, and that shuts down their main game plan early on. Also, his sternness as a coach, when you make a mistake, he just yells at you straight up. And you know when you made that mistake, and you know you're about to get yelled at, and you know you want to fix it for next time, and that's super, super important in a coach. I think sometimes coaches don't have that sternness, and the players don't want to listen to them as much. And I think Matt is just really great because of that.
A little bit of tough love every once in a while. Let's get to know you a little bit better. When it comes to stepping onto the biggest stage here, VCT Americas, what do you want to prove to people, and what do you think is your biggest strength as a player that you've brought to the team so far and showcased to the world?
I mean, stepping on the stage, I can't lie, I was a bit nervous, but I had a lot to prove. I had a lot to prove to all the haters. They're commenting on the C9 post, hating every single week. Just to post that 2-0 after every week and see the people in my comments that used to hate starting to love me, it's so awesome. And just although I was nervous, I knew that we could do it because we're doing it in practice, and I think that we can continue to do it and show people what we're made of.
Hell yeah, you mentioned it was a tough start for you guys in terms of strength of schedule. Upcoming, you've got Sentinels, MIBR, Leviathan, and Crew to close things out. where do we see Cloud9 in the standings at the end of the split?
I see us 8-1, maybe 7-2 if Marv has a good game and he steps in.
All right, a little respect given over to Marv. Jake, congratulations on the victory in a big 2-0 week. Thank you so much for taking the time to interview with me.
Thank you.
From here, we're heading to a commercial break. When we come back, it's NRG versus Crew Esports. Stepping off stage. We'll catch you back here in just a bit.
Two teams on a collision course for second place. It's Cloud9 versus Furia. Both squads finding wins here in Super Week, but now only one can walk away with the dub.
This anti-eco is so nice from Cloud9.
It was decisive.
Let's go, boys.
It was fast. It's a deep turret too to help hold the line a little bit. The flash and the swing out from Zeppa is just pretty. Oh, that's so pretty. Oh, that's not great. That's not great at all.
Here it is.
We wanted him to warm up. Cloud9 close out the round, 13-8 against Furia to take ascent.
What?
That just feels criminal, bro.
Hello?
That just shouldn't happen.
Nice, boys. Let's go.
On trade and the timing from Azine is pretty. It's winnable. It's winnable. He's gotten it down to one. Picks up a weapon, taps on the spike. To bait, to draw out the swing from Azine, and he does!
They're standing.
Once again, timing of the
One
essence.
enemy remaining.
Off the swing! And the Red Bull clutch for Leaf! What a way to end! The series still in favor of Cloud9.